I'll go back to that. One of the keys of what I talked about, what I truly know is true for me, and I've seen it in so many people's lives, that the essence of healing your life is being present to your life. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Reverend Gail Dobert, and I welcome you to Unity of Bay City, to our wonderful podcast, Now What? Unity of Bay City is dedicated to all those who are seeking to discover their spiritual path and who strive every day to bring goodness and love into our beautiful world. How do we do that? We grow together as we discover and practice positive practical tools for our own personal and collective spiritual growth. No matter where you are on your life's journey, you are so very welcome here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Now What? My name is Scott Love, and I will be your host on this fascinating journey into the spiritual and the mystical. I'm joined today with Reverend Gail. How are you doing today, Gail?
I'm great. Another beautiful day here in Michigan.
Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. Skies are blue.
Mm-hmm.
Got that perfect temperature, probably about 65 right now.
So yeah, that's really good for me too, 65, 70, or 65, or even 60.
Yeah.
But we are in a bit of a drought, but that'll level itself out.
I saw the Grand River. That was really depressing. There's like a big salmon run happening right now, but the Grand River is so dry that there's like islands where there isn't normally islands.
Oh.
So I'm not sure exactly how that's affecting the fish run, but hopefully not too much, because they need to get up there and spawn and so that they can have more salmon in the future. Hey, can we just take a second before we start? I feel like I need to ground. There's a lot of weird things happening in the world right now, and it's affecting me emotionally. And I'm sure it's affecting the listener emotionally too. And I'm not going to list what those things are. If you're aware, then you're aware. And if you're not, it'll be good for you anyhow. Let's just take a second to take a deep breath, and then just let it go. We'll do that a couple more times, and each time we do, just feel your body relax, feel the stress ease out for a moment. Then one last time. It feels better. It feels good. And this goes kind of into what I think we're going to be talking about today a little bit. Taking that moment to be present with ourselves and get back to that base state of natural being, I guess.
Absolutely. Our humanness meets our divinity.
Yes.
Because we are both. We're not on this world, on this planet for very long when you look at the history of the world. How this earth is even still around with some of the ridiculous stuff that we humans do to each other and to the earth. But you as you were moving through this, as we were going through this breathing and centering, is so, so powerful. And the essence of healing your life is being present to your life. Well, what does that even mean? It means that we pay attention to what we're thinking about all day. Are there thoughts that evoke emotions, that evoke sensations in our body, like anxiety, illness, and also joy and relaxation? And so what are we focusing on the most? What we focus on expands in our world, in our life. So are we focusing on things that are making us fearful and anxious? And if you're feeling a lot of that, then that's probably your hint right there, what we're focusing on. And so it sounds simple, and it really actually is, but our minds are not. They're complex, and we can go round and round and round and round. In the past, I've talked about the wisdom pattern, the order, disorder, and reorder. And that happens quickly in our human lives, and it happens all the time, because when you take a breath, it changes everything in your body in that moment. So there's always order, disorder, and new order happening all the time. But when it gets really us feeling fearful and out of control is when it's the bigger picture, when it's the bigger society, when it's the things that are going on right now in our political world here in the United States and beyond. And so what do we do about that? Taking time to focus on that question. What's mine to do about this? I have a place, I have a voice, I have a passion for this country being a safe and true and free place. What do I do about that? And then allow ourselves to listen and to take action as we're so led. And that's different for everyone. Some people, it is protests and writing letters and making phone calls. And some people, it's just making sure they're taking care of their own self and their house and their family and that picture. You know, how can I best, what decisions can I make that it would be better in this climate for me to do? It's hard to choose where to begin. And when we just even look at our own bodies, where do we start? What's the first healing related thing that popped into your mind? Is it physical healing, emotional healing, a longing for more joy, a peaceful, free nation that we don't have to doubt and fear, or all of the above? For most of us, with so much stimulus on the internet and on television
coming at us from all directions.
Coming at us from all directions. Where do we find that liminal space, that gap? Well, we have to create it. We have to allow it to be. So when we begin our healing process, it's like, that's now. It's right now. It's right now. You don't have to make a complicated schedule or a plan. You just got to pay attention. What was I running in my mind as I was driving here today? What was I running in my mind when I woke up first thing this morning? Just pay attention to it. Look at it. Go, oh, I've gotten in the habit of, one of my spiritual practices is when I get on Highway 10 to drive in from Midland to Bay City, I bless every creature, great and small, and physically do, put my arms out one at a time because I'm driving, and say, thank you for staying away from the highway.
Oh, that's cool.
Keep your family safe, and my families and all these families stay off the highway.
I do something kind of similar, and I don't do it often enough. I used to do it more often. Is I'll just take a look around and I'll look at somebody, and in my head I'll be like, I love you, and I look at that person, I'm like, I love you, and I love you, and I'll try and get every single person I can see. And I don't know if it's just my imagination, but sometimes it feels like the energy of the room lifts up. At least the energy in me lifts up. I think it's pretty neat.
Definitely not your imagination. In my understanding of spirit and of our human energy field, love is contagious. I mean, it when it comes from the soul space. And I do that too. I'll see somebody who maybe I would have judged harshly somewhere, or in traffic. And instead, I really am conscious about, even if I slip and go, oh, you idiot, why'd you do that? And then I'll say, may you get safely where you're going. I just surround them in light and say, may you find the help you need. Those kind of things really, really do make a difference in this world. And, I say, give it a kiss, your spiritual practices. Keep it spiritually simple. Because when we get too elaborate and think we're going to have to meditate, half of the day, or we're going to have to, do some yogic positions and all this different stuff, I'm not discounting any of that. But for most of us, this world is going too fast, and we try to keep up and we can't. So we do have to carve out some time. One of the things that I talked about last Sunday was to just start off in the morning by looking in the mirror and telling yourself how much you love you. I love you and I appreciate you.
That's awesome. I want to say something about last Sunday. It was amazing to come in and see that many new faces.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
Really was. Absolutely. And they were excited about what they heard, and they were excited about this community. And that's what consciousness does. That's what we've been working with here, is we don't want to be a best kept secret. It can't be anymore.
Right.
This is what's going to rebuild our nation. Not us, unity, but
The seeds of
the seeds of consciousness. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We are evolving, and as you go around that one spiral, things seem worse, much worse, until you rise up again.
I always think of it as like an echo, where it's like an idea will enter, and the idea enters my mind, and I find myself repeating it a few days later. Mm-hmm. And then I wonder if that person repeats it, and I wonder if the person that heard it repeats it, and it echoes out like that.
Yeah.
And then maybe a couple of weeks later, someone will say it back to me, and I'll be like, that's cool. I've heard that someplace before.
Yeah. It's almost like a reverberation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And just like you started us out today, throughout your day, take a moment and breathe. Mindfully breathe. Breathing in, I'm breathing in, and my whole body is being rejuvenated, and my mind gets a moment to rest. And of course, nature does that, and is Michigan ever the place to go and get some recharged from Mother Nature, for sure. But stay as present as you can in the now moment, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. What's happening right now? In this now moment. In this now moment. I had a friend who, her mother made her transition. She died, it's been a number of years ago now. And her mom was like in her late 80s, early 90s, and still getting around, living by herself. And she and her sister would check on her regularly. But the one day that she didn't check on her, the neighbor called the next morning, and they found her outside in her yard, dead. And they couldn't figure out why she went outside at night. She had like a little snack that she had there, and she'd gone out to check on something, and she fell or had whatever happened, all the things she'd been dealing with physically. And that has haunted my friend. But she's the one who said this, that stuck with me, that helped her move through it. This grief and this, oh my gosh, if I would have only been there, or if I would have only, all of those things that we go through. She said, I have to remember it's not happening now. Mm-hmm. It's not happening. She'd replay it in her mind, replay it like we do.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, if I'd have only done this. Well, you can't go backwards, and there's no going backwards. And so when she said that, I said, there it is. And I use that phrase a lot. It's not happening now.
Yeah.
I've got a son in the military and one working in D.C., and I can go into mother worry like crazy. But I work really at just sending them love.
Yeah.
Sending them love, like I do with anybody, but deeply, of course, with my own children. And there's times when you reach out, of course, to a metaphysician, clergy, metaphysical healer, a physician, therapist. There's a lot of tools. And so when we take a moment, take a breath, and get in that gap between our rushing thoughts, then we go, I think I need to call my doctor today, MD or whatever you're led. Because, I've said this for a long time, healing sometimes takes prayer and medication.
Right.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
Medical science is
sometimes medication is prayer.
Exactly.
For some people.
That's the answer, So people like Louise Hays and her little blue book that I've used for many years, and my children love that one. You look up what's ailing you, and she gives kind of an emotional reason or a mental reason that may have created that in part, and then an affirmation to kind of try to untrigger it a little bit. Something else to focus on instead of, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, So the important piece here for us all is to do the work, our inner work. And like I said, you don't have to go into a cave on the mountaintop. You don't have to remove yourself from your life, but you do have to remove yourself in small increments from this constant stream of thoughts that sometimes really are eroding our mental and our physical capacities to live a life that is of ease and with some grace and with some happiness. So doing the work, and this isn't once and done, it's every day of your life.
It's a practice.
It's a practice.
Yeah.
It's a practice. It's a consistent, do it again. Of course, we go about our daily lives. It doesn't mean, like I said, you have to go sit somewhere for hours, but maybe sometimes you do need to take some time apart. You need to say, nope, I'm going to cancel everything I had today, and I'm going to go find a tree.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sit with that tree. That's important too. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no.
I found that if I take a few minutes to just breathe and meditate before I go to bed, not just turn the TV off and use the bathroom and go to bed, or whatever, put the phone down. I actually spend 10, 15, 20 minutes just breathing and listening. Mm-hmm. And I found that I rest so much better. I fall asleep faster. I wake up feeling more rested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rest, and our body that is built to rest. It needs that. Mm-hmm. It needs that, and just acknowledging that I need to rest. I'm going to allow my body, my mind to rest as you breathe, and it really isn't that complex. And that's why I think as humans we step all over the things that are the easiest for us to do. Really,
it reminds me of a friend of mine that I used to hang out with. And this guy was so high energy, but he was scattered. He was like everywhere. And he never really finished anything that he started. And he was so frazzled, and he was like ADD 24 hours a day, and we had a conversation about how it was starting to mess with his physical health. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you should allow yourself time to relax, take a nap in the middle of the day. He's like, oh, nap? No, I don't take naps. I've never taken a nap in my life. And I was like, well, hey.
That's a little self-evident there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing the things we do. I've got to go.
Yeah.
And I have fallen into that category myself. And I talked a bit about Jesus Sunday, and it's so sad that he was pegged as Lord and Savior, because the Savior is all within each of us. And, because he healed people. Like there's an example about the lady that in the crowd, and the old woman, and she took a hold of his cloak or his gown, whatever robe he had on, and he felt it. And he turned and he healed her. And it's like, that's not a big mystery. We have healers galore in this church.
Yeah.
It's the human energy field. He was very tuned in to that, and he felt her energy, and she was able to open up enough to his healing energy. And so he wasn't an exception. He was an example, but he's not an exception to humanity.
I have a really cool, quick Reiki story here.
Yeah.
I used to have this issue with my left knee, and I was hanging out with a friend, and her daughter, obviously, who was a part of her culture since she was little, her mother was a healer and into spirituality and stuff. And this little girl comes up to me, and she's 7 years old. She's like, which knee is it? And then I said, it's this one. She goes, I'm going to put my hand on it. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah. And she puts her hand on it, and she goes, okay, now breathe. I took a breath, like a 7-year-old, right?
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, cool. And I was like, oh, isn't that cute? Huh? Guess what? I have not had an issue with my knee since then.
That's the purity of children. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
And that's how powerful we are. And that's why I get defensive of Jesus, because it's us too. We have that same energy. We have that same. Think about, though, back then, he didn't have internet and and all the other things that can interfere with our energy fields right now. We have to work harder, and we're in a fast-paced environment. You can't be fast-paced if you don't have a microwave, you know, or even a stove that you just go click and it's on. So it was different times, but it was the same human. We're all the same human. We're all human and divine, and we get to choose all the time, and we have to choose a lot. I'll go back to that, one of the keys of what I talked about, what I truly know is true for me. And I've seen it in so many people's lives, that the essence of healing your life is being present to your life. And only you can sort out what that means. What are you being present to most of your day? Most of your day. And I quoted Cara Lingo from her book, We Were Made for These Times. She says it's especially tempting in times of challenge to abandon our homes, and she's calling our home our self, our heart. She refers to it as our home, to leave our territory in search of answers, perhaps by worrying about what will happen in the future. This is precisely the moment when we need to return to the present moment, to feel our bodies and take good care of ourselves now. Take good care of ourselves now, because the future is made of this moment. The future is made of this moment. If we take good care of this moment, even if it's very difficult, we're taking good care of the future. It's so simple, isn't it? And so beautiful. Saying yes takes practice and willingness and love. Love is at the core. Love is our grounding force, even though it's been made into Hallmark movies and cards and happily ever afters. It doesn't always look that way. We know that.
Well, isn't there like 8 different Greek definitions for the word love?
Love, yeah.
Agape and eros and amore and...
Right. So we have our human
Amor.
sensuality and sexuality, love, and but when we go deeper beyond that, it's got nothing to do with that. It truly is. Now, Louise Hay, who I talked about a little bit ago with her little blue book, Heal Your Body, she says that loving myself is my magic wand. Every day it gets easier to look into my own eyes in the mirror and say, I love you just the way you are. My life improves without me fixing it up. I used to be a fix-it person. She says, I fix my relationships, I fix my bank account, I fix the things with my boss, my health, and my creativity. And then one day, I discovered magic. If I could really love myself, really love every part of me, incredible miracles happened in my life. My problems seemed to dissolve and there was nothing to fix. So the focus of my attention has changed from fixing problems to loving myself and trusting the universe to bring me to everything that I need and everything that I desire. So the only way out is in and then through. Another thing I liked in Kara's book, and it is Kaira, Jewel Lingo, Lingo. We were made for these times is what I've been quoting from off and on here, along with Louise Hay, Heal Your Body. One of the analogies that Kara talks about is our train of thought. You know, we use that. You can, if you're standing on the platform and seeing trains coming and going and coming and going, one's going to the past and one's going to the future. And here we are standing there. Oh my gosh, thinking about the past. Oh my gosh, thinking about the future. And she said the past and the future are not the places where we come home to ourselves and resource ourselves with the elements we need to move through our difficulties. We can only come home to ourselves in the present moment, here and now. In the present moment, here and now. What a challenge that is for us humans. Sometimes the trains of thoughts take us into dark tunnels, and there are too many layers, too many years, too many things going on. I'm too busy, too tired, too upset, too lonely. I don't want to be present with the many parts of our life that I don't like and I don't know what to do with, or the places that hurt. That's the golden thread that runs through our humanness. That is the need to be at home in our own self, to know that is where spirit abides, right here, right now within you. You don't have to earn it. You are it.
I like that.
You don't have to earn it. So again, I say, keep it spiritually simple. Spirit is always with you and within you, and we all get to define that in our own way. You are human and divine. So start your day by looking in the mirror, saying, I love you, even if it sounds silly, or maybe you don't even say it out loud because you don't want anybody to hear you. But hopefully you can say it, and really say it. Mindfully breathe. And all that means is to notice you're breathing in and you're breathing out, just like Scott did as we began here. Yeah. And go, oh, wow. We don't even realize how stunted our breaths are. And when you feel overwhelmed by whatever you're doing or dealing with, do your best, as best you can, to stand on that platform with the trains of thought going back to the past or forward to the future, and stay there in the middle and breathe. You can watch it. It's interesting. It's fabulous to watch your mind and go, wow, was I thinking that? And then have your own resources, some easy to turn to resources, like Louise Hays' little book, like music, like a tree, a little bit of nature, sitting beside a brook, watching the fish. Simple and uncomplicated, right at your disposal. Sometimes I add phone a friend, but sometimes that's not always the best option. You know, it's not. But there's usually a book I can pick up, or just some music, or just to be for a moment.
Have you ever done the thing where you just pick up a random book? I do this sometimes, especially with a friend. I'm like, all right, tell me when to stop.
Yeah, stop.
Okay. Now tell me when to stop.
Okay, stop.
Okay. Nausea. This is from Louise Hays' Heal Your Body. Let's pick it up. What I was doing is I was leafing through the pages, and Gail told me to stop, and then I started rotating my hand around the page she asked me to stop on, and I stopped at nausea. Fear. The stem cause could be fear or rejecting ideas or experience. So when you're feeling nausea out of the blue, one of the things that it could be is that you're living in fear or you're rejecting ideas or experiences. And the mantra to counteract that would be, I am safe. I trust the process of life to bring only good to me. And just saying that kind of gets rid of the nausea.
It helps you shift a little bit. It's
yeah.
all about a shift, isn't it?
Conscious shift, yeah.
Yeah, conscious shift. Yeah. Which way do we want to shift? The promise is that we are made for the times we were born into. We are all in this life together. And when we can accept and make peace within our own mind and heart as often as possible, we can heal our life and the world we live in.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Gail, once again, thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
As per usual with our weekly podcasts, I always get exactly what I need from them. Hopefully our listeners get the same experience, that you're getting what you need from these podcasts. And if you are, please take a second to like this video or this episode, however you're listening to it, and subscribe. And if you do that, what that does is it tells the algorithm that you're paying attention, and that'll help keep it in the listings a little bit longer. Gail, once again, thank you so much.
It is my absolute pleasure, Scott. Thank you for your time and your talent in guiding us through these podcasts, and there's so much more to come.
Yes, there
Stay
is.
tuned.